So thanks for coming to the Aries full moon, guys. All right, this one's a powerful one, okay? So we'll just talk a little bit about, it's an Aries full moon, so we'll talk a little bit about Aries, and in astrology, what Aries is associated with. But I always like to begin talking about the fact that there's completions with full moons. There's endings to chapters and cycles. So we have the sun that's in Libra. We just entered Libra season. So we have the fall equinox. And then the opposite of Libra is Aries. So the moon is in Aries, the sun is in Libra, creating the moon that is filled with light. In astrology, the moon, we all have a moon sign. It's associated with our emotion, our soul, and secretive energies. Since the moon is full, I would say more so secrets are illuminated. So let's go ahead and talk about Aries. Aries is the first house in astrology. It is the house of self. It is the house of the I am. It's known as, so when I was taking these notes last night, it's kind of like the universe has an Aries rising, which I've kind of always thought. So the first house, we all have a first house, like we have a sun sign. I'm a Pisces, but my first house, my rising sign, which sets up the whole birth chart, is Capricorn. So we're dealing with like the rising sign. What is the rising sign? It's also the ascendant sign, the ACS. You'll see it as that. For me, this is like your aura. I've studied astrology since 2017. And the way that I see it is it's like the first house is like your outfit. It might not be like who you are. It's not who you are secretly. It's what you look like. When you come into a room, it's the vibe that you have. So it's your personality. I would say it's your individuality, like your sense of individuality. You as an individual, it just starts with one. And how you are perceived. So that's a little about the first house. Now we're going to talk about the element that we're working with, because we have these 12 different signs represented by, we have one that's an item. Libra is an item. All of the rest of us are like an animal or something with a heartbeat, like a being. Aries is the ram. We'll talk about that in a second, but it's cardinal fire. So similar to Leo, similar to Sagittarius, we have these like really passionate energies. Aries is cardinal, like Capricorn, Libra, Cancer. So those signs are right in the forefront. They're initiative signs. So these are all energies that we can kind of be harnessing. It's going to affect everybody differently because we all have Aries in different parts of our chart. So I would just say for a cardinal fire, it's passionate action. So we're actually doing things in a passionate way. Fire is associated with like manifestation and creation, creativity energy. So I also have written here bold initiation, like taking initiation in a very bold way, perhaps in a way that you haven't before. And this was added later. It's like written in smaller letters, but when you know who you are, you know what to do. That came to me. That was kind of like a channeled message. When you know who you are, you know what to do, or at least it's a little bit easier. So now let's talk about the ram symbolism just briefly. Aries is actually ruled by the head. Every zodiac sign is associated with a body part. And if you think about it, the head is really essential. Like you can live without a hand, you can live without a foot, but if your head gets decapitated, so pretty much everything is like based on that, and it's the beginning. It's like your head right here. It's actually a body. If you see the zodiac wheel, it's like a body that's like kind of bent around, where the feet are Pisces and all the way around is the head for Aries. And we've got, the chest and the hands. And so all the zodiacs are associated with different body parts as well. So the head, and the reason I mention that is because the ram, there's the head and the ram's horn, and they use their head for defense. They use their head to like get through things and to charge forward. So this is a very head first energy. I didn't write this, but I will say we just have to be a little cautious of like impulsivity right now. The moon last night when I was doing these notes, and even the first portion of today, was one vibe. And then over the past 30 minutes or so, I really felt that Aries energy of like impatience, frustration. The moon itself happened September 29th because it was like 4 a.m. or so. So we're actually coming slowly down from this energy. There was like a huge peak buildup to this new beginning Aries energy. So I don't know how everybody felt last night, the days leading up to last night, even over the past couple weeks, because we went from a new moon in Virgo to the moon slowly filling in light to Aries. So it's like this pressure cooker energy a little bit. There's going to be some things that unravel over the next couple weeks, because all of a sudden, because of this Aries energy, people are waking up to who they are. And you may have been mingling and associating yourself with certain people. So if you see people like kind of not acting how they usually do, it's like, please believe them. Please know that everybody, like, we kind of don't have control over it right now. We definitely are who we are. So I guess I get all that from the ram, but we're going to talk a little bit about Mars, and then the last portion before we talk about the moonology is what's going to be illuminated. So Mars energy. We talked about like passionate action because of the cardinal fire. It's kind of even amped up even more that Aries is ruled by Mars. This is the god of war in like Greek mythology. So Mars is literally like, we all have, when we were born, Mars was somewhere in the sky doing something. So if you want to know, like, you might know your sun sign, but if you want to know how you do things, how you take action, where your drive comes from, where your stamina comes from or lack thereof, then you want to look to your Mars energy and astrology. Definitely all about action. It is a very war-like energy though. So this is how we fight. This is how we defend ourselves. This is how we pop off and handle petty energies, and how we win, how we triumphant, how we are victorious. Those are all Aries, Mars ruled energies. And also it's masculine energy. I think that's going to come up a lot tonight, even though the moon is feminine. We've got some masculine, like this moon is going to affect, we even have some men here, which I'm happy to see that. I hope I have male listeners later. Because this is extremely, like Libra, I would say is Venus, feminine, but this full moon is super, like, gonna affect men differently. And then I'll say we all have masculine energy. So whenever we're providing or doing or fixing, that's the masculine side of us. So even women, you know, we all have those energies, and it's gonna affect that part of you more. So I have here, transmute anger into ambition. This was a tweet that I saw last minute, but it really hit me when I seen it because I was actually pretty upset myself last night. So if anyone's upset, getting angry, if it's already happened, if it happens after we leave tonight, you know, be cautious of that, because this energy can be a little bit like full throttle or a little bit untamed. So I said transmute anger into ambition, and don't get upset, get active. So it's easy to just kind of dwell and be sad. That was more so last month with the Pisces full moon. This is Aries, all right? Aries is, they're going to know who they are, first of all, and they're going to do something about it. They're already doing what they need to be doing to where they don't even really have time to introduce themselves. Like, you just kind of know this. You need to know who you are right now instead of explaining yourself or getting upset about who other people are. And that leads me into my favorite part, which is what's being illuminated. So I'm going to call it Aries illumination because it's an Aries full moon. The full moon brings clarity and illumination. So for me, I had to really sit with this last night. I kind of struggled, but this is what came through. So we have soul self illumination. So who you are secretly, who you're afraid to be came up last night, who you are no longer. So if there's anything that me personally as an astrologer tonight really feels with this full moon, is that who we are no longer is extremely relevant right now. Who you were 6 months ago, who you want to be 6 months from now, like those kind of things. And I say who you are versus how you feel. So there's like all these dynamics, because you got to think of it like a character, like your life's a movie or a video game. Like, who are you? How do you feel as that character? And then it gets kind of crazy because it's like how other people view us kind of writes on how we feel we are. So there's like this little bit of a war that goes on because you feel that you're this way. Other people and their perceptions limit that, and some people won't see you as this new self. So it's definitely a little conflicting. So who you are versus how you feel, who you feel you are. And then I have a full moon as an ending. First house, Aries is a beginning. So this is super strange too, because we have things that are kind of ending and wrapping up in these areas when it comes to the actions we're taking, when it comes to our identities. And so we've got this ending beginning energy, and you know, it's a cycle. Endings are beginnings, beginnings are endings. Like, it just depends. Doors are going to close, doors are going to open. And then I also have darkness about who people are. The moon, and we all know here probably tonight that dark is not evil, it's not bad. It's like getting real old to explain that, because if you really tap in, you understand that sometimes light can be bad or dark, and then vice versa. So when I say the darkness about who people are is coming to light, it's like their fears. It's a word that I haven't used yet, which is our shadow side. Again, we want to really look into our moon to know what those things might be. Like, look at the zodiac sign your moon's in. Look at what your moon is ruled by, who you are at nighttime, who you are when you're your most comfortable, vulnerable, emotionally connected self. You don't just walk up and shake somebody's hand as that version of you, because it's not safe. You know, I'm not going to just greet somebody with my Taurus moon. I have to be comfortable first. I have to, you know, I have to have luxury and I have to have all my resources together. The Pisces in me is fine. The Capricorn in me, the rising sign, is going to introduce myself. So that's all I mean by this, like, people's shadow sides. That's what this full moon in Aries, it's like unapologetic. It's not gonna, we don't have the ability to kind of hide that. It's filled with light right now. So we kind of like, we're just being shown this awareness of who we are in relation to who other people are. And it's coming to light is what I have here. So darkness about who people are comes to light. I'm just going to leave that alone because I think we'll all kind of know what that means individually in the weeks to come. And then I mentioned earlier, like, who you were 6 months ago, right? In Aries season when we were in the spring. And then who you're going to be 6 months from now. And I have April 8th here. There's going to be an eclipse. These eclipses are happening in Aries and Libra right now. So some of us might want to look into the North and South node, which is karma. So April 8th, 2024, we have a 6-month cycle that we're kind of starting. Basically, in 6 months, we'll have a new moon in Aries where we can set intentions for who we want to be. But first, we kind of have to stop being who we aren't. You know what I'm saying? So take an old name tag off, put your new name tag on, rise as your higher self, the most confident version of yourself. And then I say it's okay to not know who you are. And this one gets me a little like in my feels because like literally last night, it hurt me to write that. Because I think I'm just feeling the collective's energy of the pressure to know who we are, even me, myself, like everybody's included. But I'm going to reiterate confidently that it is okay to not know who you are. Heal yourself first. That's exactly what came through. And then just like slightly here at the bottom, that North and South node I wanted to hit on. We got to do our own research on that because that's why we have eclipses. So I'll just kind of just say that these are eclipses coming. I don't know if this Aries full moon is technically an eclipse, but I do know the one on April 8th will be. And then we've got a Libra new moon eclipse next month around like October 14th. Those are a little bit more intense. We're dealing with some different karmic stuff. So just kind of research it, get kind of ready for it. And then I just want to briefly mention a little thing called Chiron, which is something that's been hanging out in the sign of Aries for a while. And this is why our universe has lost its sensation to be boldly what it is. This is why we, as above, so below, in this universe experiencing this, we also have lost a little bit of our oomph. Have you noticed that? I don't have any dates for you guys to kind of like tell you when this happened, but maybe research Chiron in Aries. This is the wounded healer in astrology. It's a comet, but it's all about healing others, giving to others, but not being able to heal yourself. It's literally the most ironic story about this like healer person that just like has wounds and can't heal themselves. So that aspect is kind of playing out where there's like, especially the wounded masculine energy. And I'll remind everyone, we all have masculine, but like the men and like the masculine vibration of our planet and of our universe, our reality, whatever, it's going through a lot of wounds. It's like our wounds from our father, like it's going to hit everybody different. But this is a very healing energy. I wanted to come here tonight and just pop off like Aries would. And I might when we get to the tarot, because that might come through. But I just really want to like hold space for that not knowing who you are energy, not really having the confidence right now to do certain things, but kind of feeling that motivation a little bit soon. Like, just take it easy on yourself, you know, try not to boss yourself around too much and just kind of tap in. Like, if you just embrace who you are throughout, you don't have to do rituals or like any of this jazz. Like, if you just kind of check in with yourself and who you don't want to be anymore and don't let people dictate or write on who you are, people's expectations, whatever it is, you're fine. Like, if you just go through this energy and show up with a name tag, Aries will be okay with it. And then just briefly, Mars and Libra. Let's do some research. Mars, as we mentioned, is ruled with Aries, but it's in its opposites. Aries is down bad right now. And when I say that, I mean our identities are down bad. The energy that we draw from to know who we are, these planets, that's why I love astrology, because there's always like something. If you want to know about money, go to the second house. So those energies are just extremely under challenge and conflict. It shouldn't be a big deal because Aries, it kind of lives for that kind of stuff. They're ruled by the planet of war. So let's go, you know. But first, we have to kind of heal from the battles that we've fought, because we all have different battles we're fighting tonight, even within ourselves. And we got relationships going on with Libra because they rule relationships. So Mars is in Libra. That's a fall position. Mars is not comfortable in Libra. Mars doesn't want to think about what's fair or what's balanced. Mars wants to kick ass like yesterday, but it's in peaceful, detached, judicial, judge and jury Libra where karma's coming into play. And I'm just going to leave it there, guys, because I think a lot of this is just like super intense. It's up for interpretation. We all have different narratives associating So that's what I was able to harness. It was a struggle for me, but I was able to harness those key points, and I'm much more confident about this next part because I just have this Moonology deck. It's an oracle deck, and it has all the full moons in it. So I grabbed the full moon in Aries. So I just grabbed the one card. It's kind of hard to see, but we got that full moon. There's a ram in there, and then the small words under it is a fiery climax approaches, which we've discussed at Revivify before. I remember this. So a fiery climax approaches, which is definitely something that I feel. And so there's just a small little passage in this book that I think wraps everything up that I might not have been able to hit on. So let's just see what it says. It says, it's time to see if you've been a little bit too much me. There's a tug of war going on between what you want and what someone else wants, but you'll have to wait a little while to see what's going to happen next. As you wait, ask yourself if you've been handling the situation as sensitively as you could have. If you know deep down that you've been a little rash or harsh, gone too fast or overstepped the mark, then accept that on some level, that you've created this situation yourself, which means you can create your way out of it too. When this card comes up, a peak is coming, and it could be fiery. Be nice, be kind, smile, be polite as you navigate to where you want to be. Being assertive is good, just don't ride roughshod over everyone. If you're in a tense situation, meditate your way to peace. Don't be a baby. Sorry, but this could be the issue. You need to have more fun. The full moon in Aries is a super fiery time when emotions can run very high. On the upside, there's excitement about what might lie ahead, but tempers are likely to flare with rash comments or decisions. No matter when you pull this card, it signals that the situation has just or is about to come to a peak, perhaps in a rather heated way. There could be a price to pay if you have been too competitive or too blunt. All right, so I have the Emperor card here in the tarot, 78 cards here, all with different meanings. There's no right or wrong. I love tarot. So we're just going to get into some messages. And the Emperor card rules Aries, if I haven't mentioned that. So just for me personally, I like to shuffle and connect to that card just so I can, I went back there maybe 10, 15 minutes before everyone arrived. Sat with the energy of just something that we all can take from this. And even those listening later, like, it's really just tapping into the energy of the moon and what the themes are, what some of the challenges are. Like, I really don't know what way this is going to go, but I have a relationship with the cards. They'll speak to me and I'll see kind of what's going on. And this is just the first portion. I call it the energetic lineup behind the moon. So the Emperor is going to represent Aries energy. It's going to represent who we are in the Aries full moon. And we're going to discover tonight together. I don't know what the cards are, but we'll pull. We're not going to shuffle yet or anything like that. There's already a story here, so let's just honor it. And let's just talk a little bit about this Emperor. This is the father in the tarot deck. It can represent actual positions of fatherhood, like your father, grandfather, father figures, male mentor roles. And we want to be kind of light and easy on the male and female because it's just energy, right? The part of us that does, the part of us that heals, that's like feminine and masculine. But this is a father. It's the king of all kings when he comes out for me. People in positions of authority, right? These are people that have empires to run. And I feel like everyone can relate to that, even if you just have a home to run. Like, you can look at it as an empire that you're in charge of, that if you left, it would crumble down, like your sense of importance, boldness, knowing who you are. But it's just Aries, right? We're just going to say that this is Aries. And what I'm interested in is the cards that have aligned themselves beneath this Emperor, because it's the moon, right? So if we were to look right behind this full moon, we have apparently the energy of the Fool, which is associated with Aries in tarot because it's probably too small to see. A lot of tarot decks have this image right on the box, like when you look at it, because it's the Fool's journey. This is amazing, you guys. This is like the fresh start, new beginning. Number 0, it's not even number 1, it's 0. So it's like super bags packed, metaphorically, maybe literally for some of us. We're at the edge of this cliff. We're about to take a leap of faith into the unknown. So there might be aspects of our life or other people, our jobs, money, human stuff, right? Like things that we don't really know what direction they're going in. And that's because they're catapulting towards a new direction, perhaps. So this could be travel, but to me, it's just like leaps of faith. Risks, that's the word I was looking for, because it's kind of risky to come to the edge of this cliff and just kind of jump. you know, jump into a new version of yourself or jump away from an old version of yourself. So it's Uranus as far as planet goes, which is, we'll chime in a little bit of unexpected energy with Uranus, like enlightenment. And then I'm just going to hold this up because it tells a story. This Fool is jumping towards the Emperor. So I would say there's something coming towards us. Not to say that we're not going towards things, but there's, as your tarot reader, there's this energy of people placing things, taking leaps of faith and risks towards us. So this energy, I'm hearing this energy is going to come to you. This energy is going to come. You don't have to do anything. So that's weird, because I would definitely say otherwise, but I received that. Like, I'm hearing that really clearly, that something, this new beginning is coming to you. It's not something you got to go initiate. Like, it's kind of just going to review, even if it has already, or if it will in the next 2 weeks, or if it will in the next 6 months at some point. So we're going to go even deeper with this. Probably pull a few more for this portion. We have the King of Wands. This is a straight up individual. This is Aries showing up in masculine form. Could be a woman. Doesn't matter. It's a Leo to me, to be honest. I mean, it's a fire sign man. It's a man with passion. So everyone listening is going to resonate in a different way. So some of us may be this King of Wands. Some of us may like this King of Wands, may have sex with this King of Wands, may be interested in this King of Wands, definitely attracted to this King of Wands. So it really just depends. It could be both. Maybe it's you, maybe it's someone else. Maybe there's some mirroring going on. But I would just say this is definitely an individual. We have certain cards that are energies and vibes. And then we have what we call court cards that represent like people, sometimes younger. So this is a king. We have this king energy. We're staying with the theme of king and fire and passion. I will say the King of Wands can be a little egoic. He's really creative and works out and, you know, has a lot of energy and stamina. He's loud and exciting, a natural born leader. These are all qualities that we can harness right now. But just be careful of like the confidence versus cocky, the ego. But I also kind of feel like those energies are needed right now. In order to take a leap, you got to be confident to start a new beginning, right? And then there's like this subtle energy of an insecurity, but it's action taking energy. We're right on the nose with this Aries energy. I trust it. Maybe I said that for a reason, like this is going to be something that you're confident enough to trust, to risk. But I'm seeing these new beginnings in life right now are going to write on the slate of who we are. So that's what the difference is. Sometimes we take new beginnings and it might affect our money, or it might affect where we live. The new beginnings right now that the universe is orchestrating, they're in the next 6 months. We won't, if we do this new beginning thing, if we take action, we won't be the same person by April, just to put it simply. So let's keep going. We have the Eight of Cups. We have a full moon right in this card. It's the card of water. So far we've got this energy, this confidence, seems to be like fiery. Now we're getting into the emotion. The moon rules emotion, our feelings. In Aries, we can be a little bit bold or impulsive emotionally. We can be a little bit explosive, like anger takes the forefront, even though there's like, so I think it's inside out with all the different emotions, like the little red dude that goes on fire. He would be controlling the panel when it comes to Aries. I don't know if everyone knows that analogy, but like different emotions. So Aries or anger would have the forefront, where if you just kind of brush things away, you're not angry, you're sad, you're hurt. And I feel that extremely. So keep that in mind, that when you're quick to anger, you know, there might be like that inner child energy or a portion of you that really isn't. You might be upset. I think we're upset, but if you went to the core of it, it's because you're hurt. It's because you're sad, and there's different emotions there. I'm saying that because the Eight of Cups is a sad energy. It's like disappointment. We could be feeling this. Sometimes we get tarot readings and it's talking about people that are close to us, but I'm just going to read it generally, right? But we are dealing with individual energy, so who we are and like who others are. So there's some walking away going on with this full moon, especially for this card to come up around a full moon. This is when we go on a soul journey because something's missing. And with this energy chiming in with the Aries, something's missing in our identity. Like we literally don't feel like we're who we are. So we might be feeling like we're betraying ourselves, or just we feel uncomfortable, or it's that feeling where you really want to be an aspect of yourself or do something that you're passionate about, but there's something in the way of it, a person, place, or thing, to the point where we're having to walk away to step into these new higher self versions of ourselves, to take these new leaps of faith. And we're going to need confidence to walk away as well. This could be people will walk away from us too, guys. And you got to let them be who they are. You know, it's no wrong or right. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lesson. It's maybe part of your identity is formed around certain people leaving right now. And this is going to happen in the next couple of weeks. They do kind of come back. I will say that. Not sure why that's necessary to say or relevant, but The Eight of Cups is like, let me leave at the end of September, and then I'm going to return in some way at the end of October when there's a full moon in Taurus. So it's the coming and the going. It's a soul journey. It really, to really just say it, is that it's like not enough fulfillment. Otherwise, someone wouldn't be walking away. So they're walking towards what the next card would be in chronological order, which is a wish fulfillment, satisfaction. Someone's disappointed. They're sad and hurt and regretful. And you got to kind of walk away for that soul illumination. And again, this could be people walking away from us. I do see for a portion of someone out there, there's a Leo energy getting walked away from. There could be a Leo walking away. Someone could be walking away from a Leo, or it could just be Leo energy. Aries or Sagittarius is important too. For the rest of us, I do see someone needs to walk away from a fire sign. And they could be returning. I'm not sure. It looks like Leo moon might be important. And just so everyone relates, maybe we have to, okay, I'm getting torn here. Part of me wants to say we need to walk away from egoic people who are in the way of us taking action, like people who control us or dictate. They're too busy telling us what to do. But when you really look at it, it's like, you're not really doing anything though. You're so busy telling me what I should do, and you're judging my actions. What are you doing? So those kind of energies, it's like an ego thing, which is not a bad thing. If you look at the definition of ego, it's our sense of self-worth, which I think has a lot to do with who we are and who we identify with. So I do see that. It may not be a Leo you're walking away from. Either you have the confidence to walk away, or you're walking away from someone who's egoic and controlling. So I'm getting kind of both of those energies, that you need that confidence, or you're walking away from this fire sign, like arrogant energy. It doesn't have to be a man or a fire sign. And then we'll just pull a couple more here. Maybe we'll just do this Knight of Swords, because now we've got Mercury coming up, like Mercury retrograde, the Magician, manifestation, resources, which is more of a Taurus next month thing. But we won't move on from this part of the reading without honoring this Knight of Swords, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy, because this is that impulsivity. So I'm not sure what's going on here astrology-wise, but right up here in this moon's energy, I mean, we only have 3 or 4 cards, so I would say that's pretty close, near the full moon. So there's just like this impulsivity, this argumentative energy, this mental conflict. Maybe it's Libra season and it's the air. So this is a Gemini. We have Gemini and Leo that may be, and obviously Aries, but Gemini and Leo, we'll throw Virgo in there too with Mercury. Those are key people or areas in our chart, energy, something going on there. But I will say there's some kind of clarity, okay? Like someone walks away and then like there's an argument, someone wants to walk away. And the reason I'm saying that is because I have someone rushing forward towards almost like, speak now, or not. It's weird because Michael just said that about turn on the light. So I feel like you're like almost out. You're kind of already emotionally departed from this person, place, job, home. It could be family, friends, but you're walking away to kind of gain your ego. And it's like, I don't know if there's this rushed argument or someone comes in and says something last minute. But there is this energy that I don't know why I feel the Knight of Swords is super important, because we got this Aries energy. We're going to all go home tonight to our different areas in the universe. Life goes on. And I can guarantee we're all going to be met eventually with this quick Knight of Swords energy, where all of a sudden there's this communication. It's right around the same time that you're kind of emotionally departing from something. You need to say something real quick before you leave, or you make up your mind really quickly to leave. That makes sense because we have the Fool. So maybe someone said something foolish or something, but I feel it's more so like we're just quickly jumping. It's like we've made up our mind and our confidence just has to remain intact. But there's definitely some communication. Mercury's out of retrograde finally. It's going to get out of shadow period around like October 8th. So words left unsaid, those are coming. Someone may return to like get clarity really quickly or something. It's kind of interesting dynamics because there's someone doing something. There's a new beginning. We got people walking away. And then we have this like hurry up and speak. Like, you better hurry up and decide. You don't have time to sit and think about every rational narrative that could play out. You got to do something now. It's like this impatience energy with what's being said or done quickly. It could be an argument. And then just the Magician, I'm just going to leave it there because then we get into like some deep emotion. We got a Scorpio come in, and that's next month when we get into Scorpio. But there is something manifesting as far as love. A lot of us feel like we're missing that key element, and that's why we're walking away. Because the Magician has earth, air, fire, and water right at the table. That's why he's the Magician. He's the alchemist. He has all the court energies, the elements. But with that King of Cups underneath, especially the men, I feel like we're having some trouble. like connecting and feeling like we might feel like we got a little bit of money. We got a little bit to say. We even have a little bit of passion, but that cup, like what's going on in that cup? What's going on in your cup? Are you full? Is the glass half full? Is it half empty? Or you ain't got a cup? Like, you know, you got to really check in with yourself emotionally. And I think that's what this Aries full moon is coming in to do. And that might be the motivation behind the decisions we make. Like, you know, that doesn't make me feel real good. You know, I don't like how you make me feel about myself, or how you make me feel about the actions I do and don't want to take. So there's this quick analogy that's forming in our minds. I guess, you know, the Aries full moon has that in store for us as well. You know, just like lots of communication, especially after someone walks away or departs or creates distance emotionally. And I feel like we're walking towards confidence, and people may think we're egoic, but also there may be a fire sign that we encounter after walking away. I did see before that someone was walking away, but I think now that I'm doing it this way, I don't know who this King of Wands is. He was here last month though, so he's been hanging out, just outside attractive influences, Casanova type kind of. We could be embodying this or encountering this in other people. Like, he's like a side dude, you know, not real committal. He's super fun, here for a good time, not a long time. So that's the risk. That's the new beginning. Those aspects of yourself. It has something to do with being bold and stepping into this chair of leadership. It's risky to lead from these factors of these new versions of ourselves, but we got to get the confidence to like depart from old selves and depart from old people that resonate with an old self. It's kind of like reminding me of when you get back together with like your high school mates 10 years later. Like, my name's still the same, but like, you know, we all look a little different. Like, let me reintroduce myself, period. Let's start with the crown. All right, I have this little sheet that lets me know what the bowls mean. Like all those sounds we were hearing and those vibrations, they're associated with different areas of our body, our energetic points. So the crown over here is our higher consciousness, and it's our divine connection. And we have the Ace of Wands and the Nine of Cups. So there's like this new exciting spark. Sexual encounter is super important right now too. Please know, I mean, always that's an energetic exchange, but I feel that this is there's a higher consciousness going on with sexual intimacy right now. And not just that, but I have to say that Ace of Wands is that for me. New sparks though of excitement. New energies. I always say this is a potential flame, because we have to keep in mind with the aces in tarot, yes, they're new beginnings, but that hand is the hand of the universe, and it needs a physical hand to grab onto that wand to actually wield it. And this is a literal wand that could manifest. So this is about some kind of new beginning that is extremely emotionally fulfilling. There's like wish fulfillment here. So whatever satisfying new start could spark for you, I will say as your tarot reader, that seems to be in the cards for the Aries full moon. Again, we have a couple weeks. We have that Libra eclipse in 2 weeks, and we have a couple things going on after that with like Taurus, but basically 2 weeks, you know, a month. I always say full moon to full moon, that's a good time period. Full moon to new moon, so 2 weeks from now, a month from now, 6 months from now. So, you know, give it some leverage and leeway there. But we got some, you know, maybe some of us need more time to think about what would emotionally satisfy us. But I know there's a divine connection going on. And then this ain't really with the chakra, but I will say there's like drunk sex. Anyone who has sex and that drinks alcohol or anything like that, just be careful, because there's like some higher conscious divine connections going on there. I kind of want to leave it at that, but it just kind of makes me, you know, we'll just say when we add certain substances to our body, we're opening our, not wrong or right, don't care. I'm just saying factually, we open ourselves up. Like if you have sex drunk, it's a different vibration. You'll receive different from it. I don't really want to talk about it much more than that, but it's being emphasized. I don't know if we're like, don't do that or please do that. I'm not getting either, but it's definitely there. Like just drinking, having fun, but there's also just these new sparks and excitement. All I know is there's a higher consciousness associated with it, and the divine is connected to it. So we'll just honor that. We might need to return to it, but I feel that's pretty straight to the point. A new satisfying spark. Can't wait. Let's move on to the third eye, which is purple energy. And it's our intuition. This is our foresight, that amethyst energy. It's our imagination being open. And we have the Tower, which is super powerful. This is a major arcana for like shock and sudden change. And it looks scary, but it's really not. This is giving us an opportunity to like rebuild. Let's chime the chakra in with it though. So intuitively, we know everything is chaos. Libra is associated with chaos. More so the balancing of chaos. It's like peace. Aries is war. Libra is love. I'm not gonna say Aries is hate, but it's like, love versus war, peace versus war type energy. So yeah, things are definitely, there's some unexpected, like, I love that this is the bowl for foresight and intuition though, because it gives me a little bit of hope that, like, we already felt the ground rumbling, like, before. It didn't just like come crashing down. Like, we had little inklings, like we knew that maybe we want this to fall apart, but it definitely needs to. This is a false foundation that we intuitively know. It's built on sand. It's like building a house on sand. And I'm not talking about one of those elaborate like sand castles. Like, try to build a house or an establishment without a foundation, it's gonna crumble down. These are relationships that are false, jobs, whatever it might be. Just let it go though. Like, if it's not gonna withstand a little lightning strike, this relationship, then these two people, didn't need to be together, didn't need to live there, didn't need to work there. The tower is never going to destroy something that is sturdy or has a strong foundation. So these are always things that we need, like, to chaotically fall apart so we can rebuild up. But it is kind of shocking, and it's definitely not easy to go through the tower. And this is actually, I don't want to forget, it's ruled by Mars. So I'm not surprised. Like, we have like little planets and stuff that'll show up, and we've got Mars here, which rules Aries. So basically, I just like feel like intuitively, yeah, there's like this awakening. Things may seem a little crazy energetically. As far as the open imagination, when things start falling apart or when something shocks you or catches you off guard, get creative with it. In whatever way, maybe things ending in unexpected ways is actually leading us to that spiritual open imagination area. So I feel that is very, very powerful. We're going to leave it for now. There might be more that comes up. Basically, intuitively, we know things are going to fall apart. This has to end. You might not know when, and I just want to say, because this is what I forgot earlier, is that this is the universe is interfering. Like, you've had opportunities to end this person, place, or thing that's been chaotic, taking from you, keeping you from being yourself. And now the universe is like, you know what? Now you have to go. It's not your fault. It's not his or her fault, not mom or dad's fault. But now there's a storm. Everybody has to leave. It's nothing personal. You can't take that personal when there's like destruction. So we already know that, right? Let's move to the throat, which is blue energy. It's our ability to speak, communicate clearly. And we've got like a weird thing going on here. We have two cards that are showing themselves to me. Some of these cards are not showing themselves to me. So we have Gemini. We have the Wheel of Fortune. Now this is interesting because the throat chakra is our ability to speak. In astrology, the third house is Gemini, also associated with communication and ability to speak. Someone needs to talk to a Gemini. Aside from Gemini, this is the lovers, so that's obviously some sort of relationship. So I do see those of us who are in relationships, those of us who aren't, still need to do some thinking or talking. And this don't got to be just romantic relationships. You have relationships with everyone around you. Friendships, business partnerships, relationship with self is super important right now too. So talks about love or choices, can't forget that. The lovers is definitely a huge choice. So there's some kind of conversation or something that needs to be communicated clearly about a choice. And then we have the Wheel of Fortune with this. So that's Jupiter. For me, that's the fall equinox energy. There's someone here that you're destined to talk to. And I don't know if it's just talking, because it feels a little twin flamey. It feels a little soulmatey to me. It could just be a destined connection, or you're destined to make this decision. But it's with the bull that talks and the ability to speak. But with the fall equinox, I guess relationships are in this strange fated place. Like, it's this strange encounter where you're meant to meet your twin flame or meant to connect with this soul. Or if it's a friendship, then it's a powerful friendship. And it's like you guys were married in a past life or something. So I see a lot of change in relationships, especially between now and the winter solstice of December 21st. Because the Wheel of Fortune is the equinoxes, the solstices shifting. But this is a straight up message. So there's a conversation that someone's going to have that's in a relationship or about a choice. Maybe there's a Gemini somewhere around. But it's going to change everything. Like, you're fated to say this. This person was fated to hear this. I'm not sure. But luckily, because I'm confused as shit about that. I mean, it makes sense. Someone's talking. You can't talk to someone because they're at a distance, but there's cards that aren't revealing themselves to me with this message. So there's also some things that aren't being said. Let's reveal it because I need more clarity. Literally. And we literally have clarity. That's so weird. We have two cards of clarity. So when I said I need more clarity, that was me channeling the fact that we all need more clarity about this relationship. Where's this relationship going? There's also someone in that dynamic that they're going to leave far away for a certain point of time. Or they already are far away, like you met them online or something, or there's this metaphorical distance. But yeah, and we have the Ace of Swords, which is a beautiful card to come up for the ability to speak chakra or communicate, because this is new. This is something you ain't said to somebody. This is something you've never done or decided quite like this, because it's fate. Fate might be deciding for some of us, like, no, get a divorce and be with that person over there. That's your soulmate. You've learned what you needed to learn from that person. It's time to do this. And remember, this all chimes into who we are. So we got some new beginnings here, new conversations. It's maybe new people. And then we have the sun. Children may be involved here. I see 3 naked people, so that lets me know people are vulnerable out here in these streets. Like, to talk and to communicate about what's changing for everybody right now. Like, some of us, I'm not going to hold you up, some of us aren't going to have these conversations. That's why these were, like, because it's up to us. It's scary. There's a lot of energy here to you know, communicate and relay the newness happening inside of you, because there's people we're connected to, attached to, whatever. It looks beautiful. But as a tarot reader, energetically, I can see behind the surface that somebody may not see things the same way as you do. So that's why you need a sword. So you can use that as a tool or a weapon if you have to, because we're getting into the Knight of Swords now when we move on. But just new conversations that are going to bring a lot of clarity. I do see 2 people who have a child, or maybe they knew each other when they were younger. It could be the inner child loophole if you don't have a kid. But Leo, Gemini. And then I just see a lot of clarity, a lot of joy, very much twin flame. And I don't just throw that term out. I don't like to do that, because people get like really bad perceptions of it. But soulmate, twin flame, I see it when I see it. 2 people fated to come together and have a kid. 2 people fated together to travel somewhere warmer. I don't know. We're going to leave it because I don't want to screw it up. And that even might be a metaphor too. Like, someone might want to leave something and not say much more because they don't want to screw it up. But I don't think they listen, because we move forward to the hearts, which is love, self-love, and relationships. We have another Gemini, so we definitely can't ignore Gemini. We got the actual Gemini card, and then let me actually show ya. The Knight of Swords is Gemini too. It could be Libra. We don't want to forget Libra tonight because it's the sun. We wouldn't have a full moon if it wasn't for the sun in Libra. So, here's that. Remember that card at the beginning, this Knight of Swords that we stopped about? And I said that there was like decisions made quickly. There might be arguments. Now we have to relate this to like love, self-love, and relationships. There's an argument. Relationships, if you're single, don't be upset, because everybody in relationships is out here arguing. We're mentally conflicting with people. That's a little bit of Aries, a little bit of Mercury retrograde energy. Venus retrograde destroyed relationships. Not a bad thing. It's just, it was challenging. Let's just leave it at that. So this is someone who literally getting the energy of someone who's rushing to say I love you. Someone who's making irrational decisions to rush in and say things and do things. But I definitely am getting that argumentative too. Okay, so there's something that the way we're thinking, our thoughts, the actions we're taking mentally, it's in the name of self-love. It's in the name of like this newfound. So maybe it wasn't ego I was getting from the King of Wands. I'm sure it was a little bit, but now I'm seeing a different area where we love ourselves so much that we're not even going to like give ourselves time to like think about this for too long, because we've actually low-key been thinking about this for a while. You know, that thing that you've been thinking about for a while, but when you mention it to somebody, what? And it's like, man, you know, I've really been thinking about this for a really long time, but it shocks you because I haven't shared it with you. And it's like, so that whole 9 or whatever, but love yourself enough to act irrationally. Sometimes we get advice in tarot. It doesn't have to make sense. Say it. It doesn't have to make sense. Do it, especially if it's self-love. And then we also have to like relate this to love. You know, we had that Lover's card come up. So, you know, people rushing in to say things quickly, you saying things quickly, but it's very argumentative. It's a lack of mental clarity that we almost had here. So if we don't have conversations and that Ace of Swords is not revealed, also there's someone who's hiding the truth, and that clarity is going to come out, whatever that is. I just know the truth was hidden here, and maybe that's why it rushes forward in relationships and there's arguments and stuff, because once you get that clarity, you better run with it. So let's go ahead and do that, and we'll just move to yellow energy, which are solar plexus. That's our self-esteem, huge for Aries energy, pleasure, willpower, responsibility. We have some hidden messages too, and let me just like briefly say, for me, when cards come out hidden, so some cards come out straight like this and they let me know, but others of them literally show themselves to me like that. And it lets me know as an omen that something's hidden. You're hiding it. Someone's hiding it from you. It's hidden in general. This one was not hidden. It was shown to me as your tarot reader. So it's about healing. And just as a reminder, our self-esteem, right? We took a break, this mental break, when it comes to pleasure and willpower, responsibility. So this is someone resting, recovering. We got that air energy again. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, our thoughts, our mind, what we're saying, what we're listening to. Our brain, you know, that kind of energy. So yeah, this is meditation. This is like recovering from actual illness or injury, but it doesn't have to be. It can just be, you know, needing to za out or zen out and just kind of like get rest for more than 4 hours. And this is also a break. So it's like 4 days go by and there's something going on. Take a break from some kind of responsibility for 4 days. Don't do something for 4 days. Don't do something for 4 weeks. Because it's 4 days or 4 weeks, or so a month. That would be what 4 weeks is. So you might not do something. Have the will. It takes willpower to rest, apparently. And I know it does for some of us goers. So I think our self-esteem, and we'd gain more pleasure and self-esteem from kind of like meditating. This is also prayer, relaxation, and they call it R&R or something like that. So really just a healing energy going on with the solar plexus. I feel there's more, and we have these hidden 2 cards that came out. So remember, there might be some unknown here or something. And we have the Page of Wands and the 7 of Pentacles. So this is some kind of like responsibility, something that we planted and that we're kind of waiting to see. We're waiting on that good news, but we're chilling. So if anyone's waiting to hear back, because this is definitely Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Leo is definitely showing up with the King of Wands, the Sun, the Page of Wands. So some of us could have been waiting on this in July when it was Leo season. So it's been a couple months because this is the 7. July is 7 and we're almost in 10. So yeah, it's been a few months. So this could be anything. It's a metaphorical bush that has required confidence and consistency to kind of put in hard work. So really the short story of this is like, are you in debt or profit? Take a break until you find that out. Are you in front of a bush metaphorically? If you view your relationship or job or situation as a bush metaphorically, is it fruitful or is it bare? Are you beating a dead horse? Are you leading a horse to water that ain't drinking? Like pushing a cart sideways, all those little sayings that are basically you're wasting your time. Or is your time well paid off? We're all going to find ourselves in different areas and in different conclusions with this, because really we know what we've put in to situations. It could be $700 here that's important, or $7,000, even $70. Because this is our values. We got Earth. We haven't had Earth yet. So this is Earth, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn energy. And really, what I was saying is like this is value that we're focusing on. And if it's a farmer, so like if a farmer puts in hard work all year and then doesn't receive back, like you're reaping what you sow kind of energy, I'm sure that if he's not getting what he needs out of a situation, he's probably not going to crop the same way next year, right? So it's kind of like you got to see things as like a harvest, and it is harvest time right now after the fall. So yeah, we're waiting on something confidently. I guess the Aries full moon is at least granting us with that it's like, I know there's this impatience, but we're tapping into this new, especially when we get this news that we've been waiting on since July. Could be a person, place, or thing. A child could be involved, someone younger, but it's linked to you being a free spirit and like going on a new journey. You find a new passion. It's like good news is expressed after a certain amount of time. Could be 7 months for someone that this has went by, maybe 7 months from now, because that's kind of in our like radius for this Aries moon. So, there's something here. I love that Page of Wands with confidence. There's that willpower to wait. So this is a very weight energy. 4 of Swords is wait, take a break, mentally heal, recover. So please know that there's any delays that you've endured, it's so that you could, if you would have taken action before. So let's say someone waited seven months for something, and the whole time they're upset. Like, why are you not hearing back about this job? I got to pay this, and I got, like we have those realistic problems. But in that waiting period that your higher self could see that you couldn't, and that the universe was orchestrating, you literally went through changes and kind of became reborn. Now you're passionate about something new. Whereas before, if divine timing is what I'm explaining. If you would have did something or expressed something before this waiting period, even if it was 4 minutes, it's like you wouldn't have done it as the same person. So you're going to realize, whether this is in a couple weeks or if you already know right on the nose what this is for you, it's like now that you've got this newfound confidence and you've got this other news that has come in, it's I don't know, you're a different person expecting it, or there's some kind of different outcome. It'll make sense to you. So I think I'm going to leave and respect that one. But just as a reminder, it's our self-esteem. And there's something we need to heal there. It's pleasure, willpower, and responsibility. And I will say what I feel the most as your tarot reader is like, there's something you're not responsible for a month or something. It gives you time to invest in something else. And you're like, you know what? I'm confident in this. I actually reap more seeds over here. So I'm not going to maybe ever do that thing again. I'm going to go somewhere else and do something else. So then the last two, we have sacral and root. We're going to do sacral, and that's orange energy. Both of these messages are hidden. I think there's only one card. Oh, okay, so that meant something there, but there's one card each. It's not shown to me. That one just revealed itself to me, though, so we'll chime that in a minute. So sacral, creative, and sexual, we have 9 of Pentacles. That is single energy. Someone who's self-content, self-sustained, all by themselves. Now, everyone listening obviously isn't single. We have people who are married. We have people that are polyamorous. We have people listening from all different angles. But there's something in your life that you do for yourself and by yourself. So I don't care if you have 5 husbands. There's some kind of project or something that you do that would make you feel single. Like it makes you feel a little bit like, I did this, like it's kind of that Aries energy coming forward where we don't over-identify with what other people have done for us or, so this is your garden. A little bit like that 7 of Pentacles. So $900 now, $9,090. So yeah, I would say this is someone who's enjoying the fruits of their labor. This is September's energy coming forward. So all of the whole month of September. Someone here is creative, and this is like single, ready to mingle energy because it's the sexual chakra bull. So someone's single, or maybe this is just our desires if we're married and all that. But let me really, really say what needs to be said with this because it always comes up, which is a gilded cage situation. The small details in this card is like, oh, wow, look at all the grapes. It's a vineyard. That lady's rich, obviously. She's like awesome. But if you were to zoom out, the area she's in is fenced in. So what this card talks about is living in luxury, but without freedom. So you got all these values, you got all these Benjamins, all these hundreds, all these like nice resources. But at the end of the day, the front door that you exit is locked, so you can't leave. So we'll call that a prison. We can call it a beautiful prison. Maybe it's even a comfortable prison, but locked doors are locked doors. Like, so what aspect of your life, and let's chime in with creativity somehow and sexuality, like, there's just something here about just, kind of focusing on yourself and really thinking about the areas of your life that are luxurious, but they cost a sacrifice of you feeling free is basically the way to put that. But it's good news. It's like we're very stable. There's someone here who's very content, like asexual energy coming out there where I'm not like, I don't really know. I think that's just like someone who, I don't know, like doesn't have sex or something like this, like the individual. I'd have to look that up because I do hear that, but I just don't. I know more about like demisexuality and pansexuality. So asexual energy, like someone who's abstinent, I guess, or like might embrace, is it celibacy, abstinence, same thing, right? So yeah, someone here is just like maybe just works a lot, doesn't have time to have sex, would rather focus on. And then like there's also like a very small energy where someone actually gains money from those kind of things, like OnlyFans or like whatever you want to say there. Like they get really creative. But this got somebody a lot of money though. Like someone made $90, $900. Like I don't know. But I feel more so that's just like for maybe 5 people. They might not be sitting here, they may be listening later, but I do see that someone's getting creative with how to make money sexually, like period. And okay, but I feel more that's just like 4 or 5 people, but for the collective I just see that we're really focused on our stability, really focused on our security. And some of us just aren't really sexually driven. We'd rather focus on our abundant fruits, like our goals. And remember, that was hidden. Someone's secretly single here. They're hiding the fact that they're single, or they're hiding the fact that they're not single. Something's hidden about it. Maybe we don't know it. Maybe we're hiding our abundance or something. But these fruits are going to grow, guys. It's the fall. So by winter, I think some of these things are going to kind of flourish. Let's move to the root, though. It's hidden. It revealed itself to me. So it's safety, security, stability, and the foundation. It's red. So we have the 8 of Cups. Again, this card came out as well. So that Knight of Swords and that 8 of Cups was what was getting me before, and it's also what's getting me now. So some of us are going to, that walking away energy that we felt, we're going to have to walk away from our security. That is not easy. So you're telling me in order to be who I feel that I am, I have to walk away from my home? Like, I have to walk away from my job that has provided me and my family with security, or just me with security. So some of us don't feel stable, so we're walking away from certain people, places, and things. Or some of us walk away and then it causes us not to feel stable. So this is a tough one, you guys, because that's why that Tower is coming in, because we really have to sacrifice certain foundations right now. especially if we're not emotionally fulfilled, especially if there's something missing. It's that feeling like something just ain't it. This is not everything for me. Like something just is just missing from the situation. So it's about feeling safe enough to walk away in those terms and in that narrative. Maybe we're walking towards that security, but I'll be honest with you, as your tarot reader, I initially feel that we're walking away from someone or something that provided us with safety. That's not going to be easy, because what you're going to realize is a lot of your personality, whether it was accurate or not, it was based on that home or that family or that security or that stability. But when it's all said and done in a higher perspective, from the universe's perspective, that's someone that's hindering you, if that's the right way to say it. They're keeping you from a larger, more bold, more confident version of yourself, like outside your comfort zone type of energy. So we have to walk away. And I am hearing you're safe to walk away. You are. You're safe to return when you return on the next full moon too. So you can feel secure in that. Because I think there's like a greater sense of stability. And this is like the foundation of who you are. So you got to go on that soul journey. And then I'm kind of curious as to why I bumped the card and it showed itself to me, because it's like, you need to walk away. You're hiding the fact that you're emotionally departing. But at the same time, it's like there's hidden elements that this full moon's going to illuminate right before you walk away. You get that little last inch of closure. And then, like, just briefly, the bottom of the deck lets me know everything about everything. And it's because shit's heavy. There's a lot of burdens. We got October coming up here, though, guys. The 10 of Wands. So, yeah, in the next couple of weeks, there's going to be decisions that we make. Like, the bottom of the deck is entirely fire. Aries energy. Sag, Leo. I will say, behind that cocky facade that most of us are trying to have or whatever, there's literal depression. Literal emotional conflict, especially with men. Especially because we are super sad that we have to leave, or we're super sad that someone has to go, but we literally know, yeah, like there's a lot of conflict here. I'm not going to get too much into it, but you got to you got to leave something behind and get to something more stable, okay? With the Six of Swords, it's sorry to go, happy to leave, like, I love where I'm going, super sad about what I'm leaving. This could be someone around you that's, like, super depressed or upset or regretful for moving on. But I like this. Let's maybe not expose the rest of it, because this is good news about heaviness ending. This does depict someone who's carrying something to completion. This is another reap your harvest card. But the struggle, the heaviest is over. And then I really want to say something that I heard that reminds me so much of this card is carrying weight that doesn't belong to you makes you tired, not strong. So in the next couple of weeks, it's like you cannot bring this heaviness with you. It's between comfort and growth. So you've done something, you've accomplished something, you even carried other people's weight for them. That's not fair, but you did it. And it's like now you're presented or up ahead in the next couple days, couple weeks for some of us, couple months for others of us. You're holding the world in your hand and you're faced with that confidence again. So are you really going to take action? Some of us are just going to jump right off that cliff, not in like a suicidal way, but like in a risky, like, fuck it. Like, let's just go. Like, at least I'm confident over here. At least like my ego is intact. Like, you don't want to carry this anymore. It doesn't belong to you. And this is literal. I see October 2nd, October 3rd. So by the first couple days, couple weeks, by that Libra eclipse. So literally, you guys, like, if you want the recording, re-listen to this shit on the Libra new moon on October 14th. And some of it might have made sense, but it'll make way more sense then, because we're slowly building up. It's not going to just happen overnight with Aries. Like, it does initially, but, like, let these 2 weeks build up and let people start acting certain ways and certain people taking action and stuff. And it's like, okay, bet. Like, that's literally the title of this whole, like, okay, bet. Like, you know what to do now because of what other people are doing. And you know who you are because you know who you aren't. And you know who other people aren't. So when you have that clarity, you can, like, a lot of burdens wither away with that. And you're able to make decisions between something old that you've outgrown and something new that you've never done. And that's the confidence. Some of us are this King of Wands. Others of us have a King of Wands helping us, hyping us up, distracting us with, like, pointless sexual encounters as well. But it all comes around a time where we're having to walk away from conflict. There's, like, new love coming in and heartbreak and breakups and all that too. But for now, I would just like to leave it with the confidence we're about to step into the next couple weeks, enough to literally no longer carry other people's shit or our own shit, like, whatever burden. We're all burdened by different things. But I love the 10 of Wands because it tells me that when we go into November, we're not going to be having the same responsibilities, obligations, or burdens. We'll be back at that Ace of Wands over here, because it doesn't go, we have 10, we don't have 11 in tarot. It's just like regular cards. So we have an ending, and then we started with that. You got to let this go to get this fulfilling, new, exciting spark. So yeah, that's what I got.